Hi everyone, Trina Phoenix here, and I hope all of you guys had wonderful holidays. Happy Hanukkah to all of those celebrating. Merry Christmas to all of those who celebrated Christmas. I hope you guys had a little time off. I got 2 days, so I was grateful for that. Lots going on, grandma's passing and the holidays and busy work, so it's just been a very, very busy time for me, so that's why I've been a little absent. But I wanted to get back into the origins of soul, and the last couple days I keep, when we were talking about synchronicities and how sometimes when synchronicities show up, it means pay attention and that you're on the right track. So over the past couple days, I've been getting a little bit of information about protection, and that there is a lot of energy that's changing right now. I think a lot of potential darkness is being released and cleared, and sometimes when these things are released, they try to seek and find new places to hide. So with that, I've been getting a strong just protection. Keep your positive, keep your vibe up, use what you know, and do what you know how to do to keep your frequency and yourself and your shield strong, up, and protected. Call upon your guardians, the ones that are directly, literally assigned to watch over you while you're here. They're there for you. So utilize your support system, utilize everything you have to keep your vibration strong and keep your protection up. So a while back, I went to Sedona, and I was like, I need a sign. Show me a physical manifestation of a sign, be it a bird, anything. Just show me a sign, anything. So I was just open, and I went to Sedona with it. I just woke up and heard go to Sedona, and I was like, okay. I went to Sedona, and I got a sign on a rock, and it was the rune sign, Alges, which is a protection symbol. And it's just kind of a reminder again of that time of we are protected. We are all very divinely protected. But the law of non-interference is into play, so you must ask. So don't be afraid to ask for your support system that is contracted with you. When you do that, you're not calling upon anything outside of yourself in a worship. It's a mutual understanding of an agreement between beings to support, facilitate, and help each other while we're journeying here on Earth. So another thing that's been coming into my consciousness is how many of us in this community feel or have a remembrance of being called into this reality at this specific time to make specific changes within this reality. I, for one, have had glimpses of myself and my contract and the remembrance that I truly was called to come here at this time. And I remember I wasn't real excited about it. But I was like, okay, I'll go. And when it came down to it, I got a little freaked out and scared, and I really didn't want to come in here. Once I felt the frequencies, I was like, whoa, hold the phone. I don't know if I want to do this. It was intense. And it was shocking to me to feel density to this level. So this is a very dense matrix, and I believe that that has been done by artificial means, because I think I had been to Earth before, and the frequency was not the same. And when I came into this reality and the density and the frequency, it was like, whoa, we're really going to have to be up to the challenge to bust this apart. And that was kind of something that I kind of have always had an internal knowing of, was that we are here to break frequencies apart and reestablish new ones. And the frequencies primary dominant upon Earth are fear-based frequencies. And Hello. Kids are home. And the ones we're going to be shifting into are ones of self-responsibility, sovereignty, self-reliance, community, unity, and self-empowerment. And literally, what I was taught was that we come to activate Christ, that we would be the activation, the second coming of Christ would come through the people. It wouldn't come from spaceships or a guy in the clouds. It would literally come from that gift of Christ coming into you, because you have the ability to activate Christ. And through your own work and through your own perseverance, you activate these frequencies. And they literally are just that, a frequency. And that frequency opens up the inner eye. You can see, you can hear, you can perceive, which reconnects you to your childlike abilities. Because we had these when we were little, we just don't remember. So all of these things that we're going through right now, I think it is we're in a timeline, and it's like, okay, guys, it's time to really start to remember what gifts are you here to bring forth. What did you come to drop a frequency into this reality? Because we are on the hero's journey. And I think every single one of you in this community, the ones that are here with a sincere heart, you are the ones. You're the heroes. And you've been called to take on this journey. So, in the book, Origins of Soul, we will be at 8.4. And this begins with the hero's journey. So I can't wait to see what she says about this, because I do believe many of us were called. And we literally heard the call to come in and reestablish new rules, new ways, and new frequency upon earth. And it would be done in the age of the zodiac wheel that brings forth the only one that's a man, and he's carrying the pitcher of water, which is the Holy Spirit. So to me, this is the union. My husky's got a toy. Between the blending now, because we've been in a full masculine patriarchal system, now it's time to integrate the masculine and the feminine together, and that will be brought through man, through the deliverance of that Holy Spirit, that water. And I keep also, too, hearing, guys, there's something to living waters. They keep telling me, focus on the living waters. Bring forth the living waters. Activate the living waters within you. Within thee, the living waters are true. So I keep hearing this, too. So hopefully, maybe y'all can help me figure out how to embrace, activate, and restore the living waters upon earth. Because I hate to say it, but we might be in a dead God system, and it might be like a digestion situation where it has to eat. And the true God, the true creator system, it needs nothing. It is full within its own self. It needs nothing to regenerate. It has everything it needs within it. So something they're telling me is that we're in a system of the dead waters, because the dead God, the energy, the frequency here is entropy. It's a death cycle. Everything here has to feed, and everything here digests. And digestion is alchemy, transmutation of energy. So through this alchemical process of returning to the living waters, we will activate new frequencies upon the earth, because when the water goes through our digestion, it anchors into the matrix somehow. I don't know exactly all of it yet, but that's what I got so far. So hopefully maybe you guys could help me put some of the pieces together about the mystery that they're trying to explain to me about the importance of the living waters versus the dead water. So I know as a healer, when blood gets stuck in the body, it dies. And without that movement and the flow, it literally becomes stagnant, and it becomes toxic, and crystallizes, and it hurts you, and it causes pain and discomfort, and it can cause disease. So living the life is in the blood. So I keep getting something to this effect too, that somehow they're connected, the blood and the water, because it's the living waters. So there's something to this, and I haven't quite figured all of it out yet, but when I do, I'll let you know, or maybe you guys can help me figure it out, because something's important with this, and it's something that we really need to have an awareness of and consciously bring forth in our own being. And this will be bringing forth radical potency and power of the Holy Spirit and man blending as one to activate the sun, the light, the spark in full potent power within you. And the more of us that can activate this light and this power within us, eventually it'll hit the whole planet like the 100 monkey. It all goes together as soon as the number's reached. And enough of us are in the same heart resonance, sitting in that vibration, it eventually will hit the whole. And then we will see unity. So, the hero's journey. There have been many brave people on this planet who have listened to the calling of the soul to join the adventure here on planet Earth. Here, in this land of light and shadow, they have met the most arduous lessons of their many lives. They have tasted hardships and love, sacrifice and bravery, and come face to face with the shadow. Yet, by looking behind the curtain, we can see that the shadow is only an illusion, a negation of the true Spirit of God that has breathed life into us and every particle of the universe. See, the Spirit of God that is living. To live is different than life. Life and live are different words. Life is Eiffel. You're the top. You're the tower. Life. To be standing in life. To live, flip the word, it's evil. It's the dead God. There's something with this. We'll figure it out together. I hope real soon. So, the God that has breathed life into us and every particle of the universe. In the course of our journey through this book, we have pulled back the veil and glimpsed at the hem of God's garments in the realms of the invisible. This is what I know. Where we want to return to has nothing to do with the prisms of light that we currently sit into. These light prisms are not true light. It's false reflected light. So remember, there are two different lights. One that is artificial and visible and reflective, and the other one that emanates from within. And it's the true light, and it's a different kind of light. So, we have entered these misty realms of heaven and heard the reports of the many brave souls that have returned from the Summerland worlds to report incredible cities of light, temples of golden wisdom, the great Akashic library that tells us that not one thing is ever lost in all of the cosmos. God sees, knows, and loves every sparrow, every blade of grass, and every person. We explore the great chain of being and the one who becomes the many who return to the one, and finally uncover the illusionary lies of the Adi Karma, or lords of karma, or lords, that keep us trapped in duality. They derail us from true happiness and instigate the kind of human discord that can plague our earthly relationships. We discovered the many life lessons that we must master, the course curriculum of the soul, and the mechanism of free will that will liberate us from the wheel of karma. It is the archetypal hero's journey, the story of the prodigal son or the daughter who has left the heavenly kingdom and gone into the realm of shadows to learn something critical and crucial. Along the way, he or she discovers the power of choice, the ability to rise above difficulties, and the will to find a higher path. The prodigal child, like all of us, has felt vulnerable, alone, abandoned, and betrayed. She has made mistakes, fallen, and had her heart broken along the way. But she has also learned courage, humility, gratitude, faith, and service, and is wiser as a result of the journey. Finally, she has discovered something incredible about herself, that behind all the play of light and shadows, she is an undeniable spark of the divine, an eternal being who is infinitely love. Her soul resides into the heights of heaven, eternally waiting, loving, and enduring all things for the greater good. When we can finally embrace this truth, then this glorious prodigal child will return to the heavenly realms, where a great celebration awaits. English writer Aldous Huxley, author of such iconic works as The Brave New World and The Doors of Perception, reminds us that the spiritual journey does not consist of arriving at a new destination where a person gains what he did not have or becomes what he is not. It consists in the dissipation of one's own ignorance concerning oneself and life, and the gradual growth of that understanding which begins the spiritual awakening. Good journeys to all of you. We know you will do well. We believe in you, and we look forward to seeing you in heaven. And for me, heaven means just that, to be heaved up high into the higher dimensions and free from the lower ones that we are currently sitting in. She next goes into the Sattvic, Rajasic, and the Tamastic activities, which these are ways we run pretty much our energy fields. So you're either Sattva, Raja, or Tama. So Sattva would be like gardening, singing, dancing, painting, prayer, meditating, all of these different things, healing others, drawing, jewelry making, sculpting, music, being peacemaker, loving your pets. It's a very, very calm yoga, sexuality, all of these things are all in the Sattva. The Raja is like exercising, paying bills, going to work, cleaning the house, going to the doctor, accounting, errands. It's getting stuff done, jobs, tasks, focus, the good workers. Post office, playing football, real estate, all of these things, daily chores, going to the gym, people's court, taxes, apartment hunting, job hunting, car repair. These are all things that are going on with the Rajas. Now the Tamas are the slower energies, the lower energies. Lying, lust, negative talk, cheating, sexual aberrations, infidelity, addictions, shame and blame, torturing animals, thievery, pornography, guilt, spouse abuse, greed, violence, hating self, child abuse, false pride, hate, rallies, hating others, verbal abuse, bigotry, jealousy, ego, war, gossip, swindling, all of the lower energies. So Tamas energies drag us down and pull us out of our center, numbing us and creating fear, worry, guilt, stress, anger, false pride, jealousy, addiction, sabotage, or shame. They are ego-driven activities and they disconnect us from the higher self. So those are the energies of Tamas. The energies of the Rajas are the ones that are productive activities. They support your physical, financial, and mental well-being. They are primarily serve your physical survival in the world. And then the sattvas are the activities that uplift the spirit, realign you in a creative or impulsional way. They make you feel more centered, happy, creative, and closer to God. So it's funny too. I just saw a car come out and it's sattva. So that's a really good name to have on your car. I'm like, that's a happy frequency. So she talks about those because those are like, again, we talk about these patterns that we get into, and certain patterns lead to certain energies. And then we express our personality through our reality, which is based upon our behaviors and beliefs and patterns. So she starts to then discuss different soul readings that she has done. And the way that she does her soul readings are very cool. I might integrate some of this part of this stuff into my work because she's getting a quite extensive roadmap of what you've potentially experienced as a soul and through your journey of what you've done and what order of angels you come from and so forth and so on. I've seen many of my clients have found out profound things about their lineage and their self and their spirit when they go into this kind of work. And it is mind-blowing. Always, the information that comes out of these realms of your subconscious mind and the Akashic records that you hold within you. It's profound. And when you can go into yourself and go into your trauma, find out what's blocking me, what's holding me back. If you can go into these things into your body and literally process them with your inner child and your higher self, you'll see things from a different place and you'll heal them. And man, does that feel good. So these things are really, really good for our spirit and our soul. And I would suggest for as many of you as possible to try to get with any kind of healing practitioners to start doing your work, however that work is for you. If it's through reflexology, if it's through massage, if it's through hypnotherapy, if it's through yoga, if it's through meditation, if it's through chanting, if it's through music, if it's through art, it matters not how you are expressing or connecting to your divinity. Just dive into it and really start to get to know yourself, because when you get to know yourself, you start to uncover your gifts and your talents, and you start to feel somehow satisfied within your own field. Because it seems like if we don't know what we're supposed to be doing or working on, there's a chronic agitation and irritation within the energy field of the soul, feeling like it's not being heard and that it's not keeping on its track or its path. So with that, this really helps take away a lot of anxiety and all kinds of negative emotions, just because of the fact that you really do have a solid foundation of, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? And why does it matter? So, case 1, Aurora Smith, a ninth order angel. And earlier in the book, we went through the orders of angels, the 9 orders of angels. If you guys want more information on that, you can go back in a couple of the other videos and it'll be there for you. So in this life, Aurora is a 33-year-old woman who is a nurse at a local hospital, who has been suffering from overweight and fatigue. Kind-hearted and giving, she is trying to figure out a solution to her exhaustion as she continues serving others. Age of soul, 6.5 billion years old. A mid-level advanced soul. Order of angel, 9th order angel, with the powers of creativity, giving, and service to others. How many elements? She has only one element in her matrix, water, where she has spent 3.5 billion years. And as a result, she is highly empathic. She is naturally clairsentient and clairaudient, but these abilities are in largely dormant state, which means she has no access to them because they're sleeping. Overview. This high concentration of water without any other stabilizing element like earth is responsible for her physical and emotional exhaustion. Without even trying, She continually takes on the problems of others as her energy field attempts to transmute or cleanse others' problems and illnesses through the use of her own empathic field. Empaths, this one's for you. Incarnated on only 2 planets in the 5th dimension. Any recognizable system, this lovely, kind-hearted soul entered through the Arcturian Stargate reserved for high-vibrating healing angels of pure heart. Lived on how many planets in the 4th dimension? Only 8 planets in 3 separate solar systems. Recognizable systems. Arcturus in the 4th, and Sirius B in its expression in the 4th, but not in the 3rd. Like its 3rd dimensional counterpart, Sirius B is primarily a water-based world. Lived on how many planets in the 3rd dimension? 4 planets in 3 separate solar systems. The recognizable systems of Sirius B, a waterland-based world where she spent long centuries as an aquatic mermaid, increasing her empathic abilities, clairaudient and clairsentient gifts, and her connection to water and wind. This gives her a high sensitivity for sensing and transmuting other people's disharmonious energies. Wow. So water and wind can clear other people with your water and wind. That's powerful. Powerful information there. One other planet that she took the form of a flying manta ray with a strong devic property. Wow. These large loving beings can move through the water, the air, and have a spongy material on their underside where they take in the energies from the sun to recharge. These beings are all about transmuting disharmony. They create soft musical sounds that attunes the vibrations of those around them. Finally, she took a birth on 2 planets in the Pleiades, where she was fully human. This was in preparation for coming to Earth. She was there for 40,000 to 50,000 years. Earth is the only 3rd dimensional planet that she has ever lived on. Earth history. She arrived on Earth 26,000 years ago, initially taking birth in Lemuria, which was the more gentle culture, attuned to light, sound, crystals, and harmony. This gave her a gentle entry into our world. She served as a healer, a priestess, in a culture becoming an ambassador to Atlantis during her last few centuries there. So she was an ambassador in Atlantis. She feared the growing scientific advances of Atlantis and eventually began incarnating into the civilization of Atlantis to try to bring more harmony back into it. Wow. Lifetimes in Atlantis. 8 important lives in Atlantis, most of which were spent as a healer, a priestess, or an oracle who could receive clairaudient messages from the spirit world. She intuitively felt Atlantis was headed in a wrong direction, but she felt powerless to change it. She died during the devastation of the flood. This is an old emotional wound that should be cleared. It has set up subconscious beliefs that all of her efforts are futile and will ultimately end in disaster. I have memories of dying in Atlantis as well, so that's interesting. Ancient lives of importance. India. She returned to Earth as a monk in the region of India or Tibet, taking time out before re-entering the conflict of the busy human world. Working in that culture with other high-vibrating people, she helped to preserve some of the records of ancient Lemuria and Atlantis. In the caves of Tibet, After several lifetimes, she found the courage to return to the mainstream world. Egypt, 7 lifetimes in Egypt, primarily as priestess or a simple housewife with children and a family. 3 lives were dedicated to healing in the temples of Hathor. 1 life as a teacher of children, trying to pass the importance of harmony in one's life and the knowledge of the sacred records. Greece, 9 lifetimes. 2 as a priestess, goddess of hearth and home, Hesta. 1 of the priestess of Aphrodite, goddess of love. And 1 life was a virginal Sibylline oracle dedicated to learning and teaching and oracle work. As a woman, she was married with children in 3 of the lifetimes. She had also 2 male lifetimes, working in the creative arts involving writing, plays, dance, acting, and music. Italy and France. A female Essene. She and her daughter were followers of Jesus, and then they became a part of the Christian Gnostic community after the death. In the 1st century, she was one of the Christians rounded up by the Roman officials and torn apart by wild animals in the Roman Colosseum, becoming an early Christian martyr. She went on to become a male and then a female in 3 lives in Italy and France, and then a nun in 5 separate lives in Portugal, Spain, France, and Italy. While in Italy, this soul achieved a high level of union with the spirit of Mother Mary, where she became virtually a saint. This strong, radiant, overlighting energy has stayed with her ever since. It is a protective force that helps her in her healing work with others today. In the early 1200s in southern France, she became a Christian Cathar, trying to reform Catholicism and bring it back to its roots. She died before the Cathars were destroyed in Montségur by the mercenaries hired by the Catholic Church. However, her gift of prophecy had already foretold that the Roman Church would persecute and destroy her Cathar community. Major soul themes. Female in 61% of her lifetimes. A healer in 52% of all lives. Lifetimes involved with teaching, 20%. Lifetimes involved with the arts, 20%. Peasant lives, 30%. Spiritual dedication lives, 58%. Creative lives with an emphasis on writing, teaching, and the transmission of knowledge, 20%. Soul blocks. 5 key lifetimes of trauma associated with being killed for doing her spiritual mission, plus the trauma of her death at the time of the sinking of Atlantis. Several negative core beliefs have been formed as a result of these past traumas. All these need to be cleared for her to do a successful mission today. So in this lifetime, she needs to clear those traumas so she can fulfill what she came here to do. Summary. This soft, lovely soul is all about bringing harmony into the world and helping others return to a place of heart and balance. Naturally shy, she is not a front-runner kind of healer, but works well with others in almost any circumstance, using her innate empathy and heart energy to help rebalance people and environments. She is highly attuned to the spirit through her beautiful heart and her needs to actively align with the Divine Mother again. She also needs to begin to cleanse her field on a regular basis with showers, baths, Epsom salts, and lavender oil, because her exhaustion comes from taking on the negative energies of others. And the water will clean you and clear those energies. She needs to spend regular time in the garden or in nature to recharge her batteries and ground. Psychic protection, processes are also highly recommended. If she is going to continue working in a hospital, although we suggest that she consider working with children or the elderly, one-on-one basis instead of groups. This will bring more joy and less drain to her energy field. It will also allow her to begin to reactivate her clairaudient gifts so that she can deliver the messages of spirit to those around her from the other side, if she so chooses. So we'll go into case 2 next. Getting kind of long here. I love you all. We are going to start digging into ourselves. I have many experiences of digging into myself, and many of you do as well. And I think it's time for us to start sharing, reconnecting, and digging back into our ancient records and our Akash, and seeing how we can get information and put back together our history that was stolen and taken away from us, and remember it and reawaken the gifts that we earned and we mastered in those past lifetimes. So with that, we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a wonderful day. May soul be with you all, and may the living waters fill each and every one of us and bring forth the positive, miraculous changes that I expect to see in our reality. And I know I can't do this alone. I need all of you to do it with me. So, Soul Tribe, I love you from the deepest part of my heart, and I am so grateful that I found you, because without knowing you, I couldn't fulfill my mission. So thank you. Talk soon.